The first color I'm going to show you guys is called Sag Harbor, and this is a really old nail polish. This is, I want to say this came out probably 2007-ish, and this was, this is a really, really pale, sort of frosty light blue, sort of random for Essie's collection, but I think it came out around the same time as Mint Candy Apple. And this was, I want to say sort of like a wintry color, and really old to their collection. I remember seeing it on Scrangy and thinking, oh, it's like the first Essie I've seen that's not a baby pink. And there was a whole collection of them that were, or I think it was like 3 colors. It was this and like a different mint than Mint Candy Apple and like Mint Candy Apple. So yeah, that is Sag Harbor. I'm gonna go now with the second coat of Sag Harbor. You guys could see in that first coat, it actually applied pretty opaque. I think it because it has that like frosty white pigment in it, that it applies pretty opaque. But the second coat is like fully opaque. Like it's just, there's no visible nail line or anything peeking through, and it has a very, very light frosty look to the nail. It also gives off a little bit of a gray tone, I think because of that frost in there. So yeah, that is 2 coats of Sag Harbor. So this is what it looks like up close. I think I am going to destash this because I haven't worn it very much in the last couple of years. It's a really old polish, so it kind of makes me nostalgic for like all of the beginnings of my collection and my channel and all of that, but I just don't use it, so it's going to move on from my stash. The next color I have is called Rock the Boat, and this one I bought because it was basically a dupe for Teeny something. Bikini So Teeny, I think is what it's called. It's basically the same color. It is a sort of almost periwinkle color, but it's sort of like a baby's room cloud blue type of color. And it has a little bit of a shimmer running through it, but the shimmer definitely doesn't show up all that much when you apply it to your nail. It's pretty sheer on the first coat. It does build up really nicely though, so that is the first coat of Rock the Boat. I'm going to go in now with the second coat of Rock the Boat, and this does get pretty opaque in the second coat. It builds up really nicely, so even though that first coat was really, really sheer, the second coat you can see a lot of color gets deposited. This one kind of has a little bit of a wonky brush, and so there's like one that sticks out, which makes it go a little bit streaky. So I've kind of learned, again, with this polish, kind of like Mint Candy Apple from the last video, that how to like use this to my advantage. The formula, again, is not too bad. It layers really nicely. It is a little bit streaky, so I am going to do a second coat or another coat just to get it fully opaque. I'm going to go now with the third coat of Rock the Boat, and this gets fully opaque in that third coat. If you did thicker coats of each coat, it would probably have been opaque in 2 coats, but again, I have that weird like bit on this brush which I should just cut off, but I just feel like it's like prone to getting streaky if I do a thicker coat because of that little bit on the brush, so I do thinner coats with this. So yeah, that is 3 coats of Rock the Boat. So this is what Rock the Boat looks like up close. I am going to keep this one for now. I'm going to see how much I use this one this next coming 6 months, especially in the summer, and then a little bit into the winter to see how much I use it. If I don't use it, then I am going to destash it. The next color is called Lapis of Luxury, and this one came out in the same collection as Turquoise and Caicos. This was my second favorite of that collection. This one I've used quite a bit as well. This one is a little bit darker and a little bit more purpley toned than Rock the Boat was, and it has that same sort of almost jelly finish that Turquoise and Caicos had, so it gives off a really glossy, really pretty blue finish to the nail. I'm going to go in now with the second coat of Lapis of Luxury, and this gets pretty much fully opaque in 2 coats. It's a little bit more opaque than Turquoise and Caicos was, so this one I don't need to do a 3rd coat, and yeah, that is what it looks like. So this is what Lapis of Luxury looks like up close. This one I am going to keep. Again, I get quite a bit of use out of this one as well, and it makes your fingers look really tan. So yeah, that is Lapis of Luxury, and I am going to keep this one in my stash. The next color is called Smooth Sailing, and I believe this one was the same collection, it came from the same collection as Naughty Nautical and possibly Go Overboard. I'm going to assume because they all have those sort of nautical names. This one is, again, one step darker than Lapis of Luxury, and it has a really, really apparent pearly glass fleck type of shimmer running through it, but it's not quite as reflective as a glass fleck. So it's just those like flecky particles. At the first coat, it's not fully opaque or anything. It does have quite a shiny finish though, so it has more of that sort of glassy finish than just a straight up cream. So yeah, that is the first coat of Smooth Sailing. I'm gonna go in now with the second coat of Smooth Sailing, and this does get opaque in 2 coats. It gets fully opaque, as you can see, and the color gets a little bit more saturated and a little bit more blue, and the shimmer is still there. So this is not a polish whose shimmer disappears like Rock the Boat was. This one definitely has a very apparent shimmer in the polish when it's on the nail as well. So that is 2 coats. So this is what Smooth Sailing looks like up close. I think I'm going to destash this one because I don't use it very often, and I feel like I'm not a super huge fan of the shimmer running through it. So I think this one is going to go. The next color I have for you guys is called Boxer Shorts, and this is again sort of another purpley toned blue. It's similar to Smooth Sailing, but I would say it's a little bit lighter and a little bit more purpley toned, and it's fully a cream finish. This one, I don't actually remember when this one was released, and I don't quite remember when I purchased it, but it was just like at a CVS or something. I bought it on a whim. It's a really pretty color. It's very similar to Lapis of Luxury as well. This one is a little bit more purple than Lapis of Luxury, but it applies really nicely. The first coat you can see gives a decent amount of coverage and a decent amount of color payoff. So yeah, that's the first coat of Boxer Shorts. I'm gonna go in now with the second coat of Boxer Shorts, and this gets fully opaque in 2 coats. It also dries really, really shiny, so it has, again, sort of a glassier finish than a regular cream, and it's really easy to apply on itself. So that is 2 coats of Boxer Shorts. So this is what it looks like up close. I think I am going to destash this one. If I were to pick between this one and Lapis of Luxury, I think I would pick Lapis of Luxury pretty much every time. So this one doesn't get used very often, and so it's going to get destashed. The next color I have to show you guys is called Aruba Blue. Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take it. This is a really bright blue shimmer. This is like a perfect fall jewel tone, and I believe this is actually in Essie's permanent collection because I see it like all the time on their stands. This is also a color that really reminds me of a color I had in like 3rd and 4th grade in the 90s, like 1998 full on, when these colors were really popular. I had a color, I think it was from, I want to say it was from Maybelline, or it was from like L'Oreal, where they had like a quick dry 60-second line, and they made a blue in this tone, and it was fabulous, and I loved it. And I mean, I like used the whole bottle. I was in 3rd and 4th grade and I painted my nails that color all the time. But it's pretty much a dead-on dupe for that color, and I like miss that color. So yeah, that is the first coat. It applies pretty sheer. I mean, it's not fully opaque, but it's not super sheer either. It's just kind of got one of those sort of standard metallic colored formulas. I'm going to go in now with the second coat of Aruba Blue, and this gets fully opaque in 2 coats. The blue definitely gets much, much deeper. In that first coat, you can see that it almost looked like a blue-green, but the second coat definitely brings out that brighter blue shimmer a lot more. So yeah, that's what it looks like. It applies really easily upon itself, and it's just like, it's a pretty great dark blue shimmer. So this is what Aruba Blue looks like up close. I think I am going to destash this one as much as I really actually do like it. I kept China Glaze's Frostbite, so those 2 are kind of similar in concept to the point where I don't need both of them. So yeah, this one I'm going to destash. The next color is called Style Cartel. This was a fall color, probably 2010 or 2011, and this is a It's a dark blue cream, but it is very, very bright in the sense that it's like a really saturated blue. And yeah, it's really pretty. It's one that I haven't worn all that often, and I kind of wish that I did wear it more. But I have a lot of blues, especially from, you know, these sort of major brands, China Glaze, OPI, Essie, and Zoya. I have a lot of blues, and so some get just left out. This one definitely has a more cerulean undertone versus like a navy undertone, so it is pretty unique in that sense. The first coat, you can tell it does cover pretty nicely, but it does need 2 coats to be fully smooth and opaque. I'm going to go in now with the second coat of Style Cartel, and it does get fully opaque in 2 coats. With that second coat, it definitely gets darker, as you would expect. It gets a little bit more rich as well. And yeah, it just turns into this really beautiful, inky, royal blue color. So yeah, this is 2 coats of Style Cartel. It applies really nicely upon itself. It dries really glassy as well. So it's a really good one if you can get your hands on it. So this is what Style Cartel looks like up close. I'm kind of torn about whether I want to keep this or not. I'm actually gonna decide after I swatch the next 2 polishes which ones I'm gonna keep. This one is really pretty and it's a really unique shade of blue, but I have a lot of blue polishes, so I'm gonna decide again after I swatch the next 2 polishes. This next polish is called After School Boy Blazer. This is the darkest color from Essie that I think I own, actually. It is a really, really, really dark navy blue, almost black. And it has sort of that like school uniform tone to it. It's definitely not a bright navy. It's got a little bit of a gray tone. It's perfect for fall, and it's a really nice, rich, like wool coat type of blue. I really do like this one. This is kind of why I wanted to see what it looked like on the nails before I decided whether or not I was gonna destash Style Cartel as well. So that's the first coat. You can see it's actually really, really opaque, to the point where it is reasonably opaque in one coat. I can actually show you a thicker coat on my ring finger where it is fully opaque in one coat. So yeah, this one is a great one for anyone looking for a dark blue that is pretty much like a no hassle polish, because look, it's opaque in one coat. So that is the 1 coat of After School Boy Blazer. So this is what After School Boy Blazer looks like up close. I think I want to keep this one versus Style Cartel, even though this one is a little bit darker and virtually black on the nail. I just love the way this looks on me, and I really do like the formula of this one. So this one's gonna stay and Style Cartel is gonna go. The next color is called Bobbing for Baubles, and this is a gray toned, like slate gray type of color. It has a little bit of a blue tone running through it, and it is in a cream formula, and this applies, it's actually also another pretty opaque one to the point where it is doable as an opaque and one polished nail color. This one I do use pretty much, you know, thicker coats to get fully opaque in one coat. If you like thinner coats, you could definitely do thinner coats. You just have to do 2 thin coats, but this one I generally use as a 1 coat nail polish. So yeah, that is Bobbing for Baubles. So this one I am going to destash because I'm keeping After School Boy Blazer. It is a really pretty one. It has also that sort of gray tone to it, so it's a great winter and fall color. I just don't wear it as much as I wear After School Boy Blazer, so this one is going to get destashed. The last color I'm going to show you is called Lilacism, and this one is a really beautiful, soft lilac color. I would say it's a little bit more blue tone than a traditional lilac, but it's a beautiful color nonetheless. This is another one that I bought really early on in my collection, and I feel like was really hyped up when it first came out. It's a beautiful pastel. This is one that's sort of like a classic Essie, and I've gotten a lot of use out of this one as well. This one is one of the go-to light purples in my collection. I kind of always seem to pull for this one whenever I want to wear a light purple. And the first coat, it is pretty sheer and you know, got that typical pastel finish where it's not all that great to use, but it does get better when you layer it up. I'm going to go in now with the second coat of Lilacism, and this adds a lot of color to the nail. It's one of those like pastels that doesn't need a ton of layering. And yeah, it's really easy to work with. It applies really smoothly on top of itself, so there's not a whole lot of streaking or patching. And that is what the second coat looks like. So this is what Lilacism looks like up close. I am going to keep this one for now and wait till the whole process is over to sort of weed out all of the light purples that I've kept so far. So yeah, that is going to stay in my stash. So these are the colors that I'm going to keep this round. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, if you could give it a thumbs up, that would totally make my day. If you could subscribe, that would also totally make my day. And then again, if you want any specific brands between Orly, Color Club, New Bar, Drugstore, or Julep, that is what I can do next when it comes to the order of the polishes in my drawer. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video, and I will see you guys soon.